Oh boy. A war and takeover that is so slick, so calculated, so planned out, so heavily produced and scripted by a litany of actors through the media resources coming to you via the propaganda, through the television, through the radio, through the media sweethearts, through the churches, the turncoat fakey fakington churches. So well applied, all under your nose, flipping everything, so deceitful, so decisively, flipping everything on its head. You don't even know you're being taken over. That is what is happening. Look at this 1984 language, newspeak. It's double plus good. George Orwell quotes. Let's go there. But if thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. No more freedom for you. Not with Jason Greenblatt, who's over with Trump as his advisor for a supposed peace deal with the Palestinians and Israel, stringing this carrot along in front of you while back behind your back, they are implementing Noahide all over the world. One people, one peace. Why? For control, for an antichrist global domination through your favorite orange Cheeto Christians. Come on now. Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful, murder respectable, and to give the appearance of solidarity to pure wind. George Orwell. Just looking at his quotes is something that people absolutely should be doing. Let's grab a couple more. Where do you see the eye being put on just everything? All over popular culture. That's where. There was a couple more of these that was pretty good. Education. Hey, you mean like Education Day for Schneerson? That's public law that's sitting there waiting to be unleashed on an unsuspecting world? Yeah, like that. In the world of 1984, language is reduced so that thoughts are also reduced. Don't you see that the whole aim of newspeak is to narrow the range of thought? In the end, we will make thought crime virtually impossible because there will be no words to express it. That's talked about in the Disturbed song of Sound of Silence, rather, that no one dared speak. We're destroying words, scores of hundreds of them every day. Hold on a second. It probably says we're paring the language down to the bone or something of that effect. Newspeak behind text messaging, the destruction of the English language. 1984 is now. When the first text message was sent in 92, no one realized the influence it would have in the worlds of business, education, security, crime, and our social lives. But within a decade of its inception, the world grasped hold of it and ran with it like an Olympian. Text messages were only intended to be 160 characters or less and are sometimes called short message service. Excellent point. I harken back to this song because this guy that is a Jew in unbelief is telling you in this Simon and Garfunkel song that's probably from the devil sourced. And he's telling you the future, exactly what's happening now. He has told you and gotten over half. Um,
Streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of my color to the cold and damp. When my eyes were staring.
So there's a lot going on in that song, but I think that you can understand the point is that they alter your language so they can slide in what they want to, and you can't say no. It's illegal to say no. It's illegal to form and forge your thoughts and opinions, which means you can't represent God. You're just to be quiet. No one dared. No one dared speak up. And the whole thing is being done in the name of protecting these various groups of people, while at the same time you have this massive flip that's happening to all the other billions of people. In 1984, language is of central importance to behavior control. Behavior control. You're being controlled by Jason Greenblatt's ADL, who is hooked up with President Trump, who has signed on to Noahide, who has had the UN summit on our soil, who is connected to Noahide in Israel, who is connected to the Pope and the fake religion of all of coexist together to come together in one global entity, a dragon, to eat the conservative and to destroy Christianity if God let it happen, which he doesn't. But you're in the death throes of freedom right now. If control of language was centralized in a state, then the possibility of rebellion to the will of the communist, pan-Islamic, pan-Israeli, pan-UN agenda becomes much easier to roll the masses and force them into the little place that you would stuff them in the name of anti-Semitism correction, which is a big giant lie. Or disobedience would be what? Eliminated. This book devotes significant time to explaining the centrality of language explicitly through Goldstein's manifesto, contextually to history, culture, life, behavior, thoughts, concepts, and power. I don't know how to pronounce that, so we'll just say S. And Winston's Speak of the Newspeak Dictionary. Right. Oh, I bet that is really, really, really good. So do you see it? Do you see how it's being done? And they just dress Trump up to look like a Christian, right? How much evil can you achieve when you dress it up in the right wrapper? Right? Big Brother is watching. I love this fist with all the script written over it. Kind of sobering when you realize what's taking place, especially if you've been listening to this series that I have a playlist. I'm looking for one. Here it is. Let's just blow that baby up. Let's get it up on the screen. That was not it, but that was good. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stomping on a human face forever. George Orwell, 1984. The how-to manual, right? So again, just skimming down into this article, then we go over to the San Francisco Chronicle. From now on, a convicted felon or offender released from custody will be known as a formerly incarcerated person, a justice-involved person, or a returning resident. Okay, so they're changing the language little by little, bit by bit, to control you, to tell you to shut up, to tell you to get along with the program. Drug addicts or substance abusers will become a person with a history of substance use. This is just a power play, is what this is. A juvenile delinquent will become a young person with a justice system involvement, or a young person impacted by the juvenile justice system. I have a big problem with the way that that has been worded. Kind of takes all the responsibility and takes it off of the person, even a child, and puts it onto something else. I think that's real dangerous. And they don't ever really fix the problem that underlies it. They just play with the language. And look, they're all so proud of themselves in their little business suits, making life better. Not. So that's one example. Changing the catchphrase to make them feel better about their mistakes. We need to help people, not change the language that surrounds their situation. And my favorite, we are now a state recognizing that the non-binary designation as a gender, we're using the designation they, which is plural, in place of other designations so that it is a gender neutral designation. Do you hear the hiss in that? They could migrate to the banning of male, female, man, woman, and soon they will only allow they, them, people, and person. Imagine for a moment this type of language restriction that leaves the inside of these committee rooms and trickles down to other levels of government. With the Jews in control pushing things as unbelievers, that is exactly what they aim to do. Read the highlighted portion, please. Thank you.